What is up, my dudes? It's Pac-Man here, and today I wanted to bring you guys another brand new episode of Or6 Analysis, the show where I take your footage and show you where to best improve. So today we're checking out my man Roids, basically a console Plat 3 who has since moved across to PC and is now playing around mid-silver and wants to know what he has to do in order to achieve his former glory years, but this time on the PC, right? So that's a pretty standard request, so we'll have a look at your mechanics, see if there's things that can be touched up there. We're going to have a look at the general positioning and just, we'll take a look at the gameplay as a whole and see what we can do. Maybe give you guys some general tips on that transition from console across to PC as we go. Okay, well, without wasting too much time, let's get straight into it, dudes. All right, so we are playing on Clubhouse. It looks like we have a Thermi main with the vert grip and the hollow. Not too bad, not too shabby, if I do say so myself. The first thing that I'll notice, like I know this is just a solo queue, probably most of the time we get sent in footage at solo queue. But to be honest, this lineup is a little bit funky. So with Clubhouse, you can definitely be bringing, really you should be definitely bringing double hard breach all the time. And probably not Thermite. This map just doesn't really suit Thermite as much. It's more so a map for, Hib and Ace. If Maverick's in play, maybe Hib, Maverick, or different combinations like that. To be honest, you can bring Maverick, Hibana, and Ace, and still be okay, and then just bring some soft breach. But at least 2 hard breach though when you're playing Clubhouse. You can structure the rest as you go. And in terms of soft breach, you're a little bit lacking here as well, especially when you're playing the CC site. Where if you're not using Maverick, then really the best way to get this guy off this breach, to get the utility off this breach, is by going below. And when you see these punch holes like this, right? So these punch holes here, boom, boom. So someone has punched these holes out, and what the actual intention of that is to basically is to give you better sound cues when you're trying to bandit trick. So that's a pretty good sign that there's going to be a cheeky old bandit on the other side of that wall, not allowing you to place your thermite charge. So the Twitch drone just won't do it. It just won't cut it. But we'll see how we go.
1 sec, I'll try again.
Okay, so there's a mute jammer on one side, and it looks like a bandit battery on the other, maybe? I'm not sure.
Someone's watching this.
I'm not sure. Look, at this point, really, you're going to waste a lot of time, just kind of dawdling around. You should start to work, through stock. And when you're just kind of waiting for things to happen as well, as a support player, someone that's playing a Thermite, you should be really droning. You got 2 drones in your pocket. You should be droning out stock and lounge for your, let's say on this sort of a coordination, this sort of a lineup. You droning in your knock, your sledge, so that they can nade underneath the reinforcement of the breach. So they can nade underneath, remove the utility, and maybe even get a cheeky frag on the bandit. So that's probably a better use of your time here, because I feel like this is going to get stalled out unless you go below. So now you see the sledge is going through stock. At this point, what's the point in you kind of just like watching the breach, right? You want to be droning.
Yeah, I can't get it either.
To help these guys get through, because you're kind of just waiting around.
We're throwing a nade.
Okay, looks like they got that there. Oh no, they didn't. The Red Reaper. Oh, the Knock has gotten a couple cheeky kills through Con. Hello, Knock is sending it, and we've got the util off the wall. You're opening up. The Zero has got another kill. 1 bottom rafters. So that means 1 bottom rafters, 1. Okay, so just I know this is all happening fast, right? But this is something that I wanted to bring up, and it's about like player mapping, right? So one of the players there just called out bottom rafters. Okay, hello. So there's someone down here. Now that player can either rotate up rafters stairs or can go up red stairs. There's really only 2 ways for the most part, right? It's the alibi. You can see the gun here. Slayer, it's alibi. Now, you just got a C4 thrown at you from somewhere close, probably red. Realistically, if they're lobbing one out onto the breach, they're probably red stairway. Red hallway. So what you need to be doing is like, you kind of just taking note of that, right, as you're playing. I know it's a lot of things to process at the same time, but by mapping out where the players are, you're going to give yourself a better chance at actually getting the frags that are, the necessary frags to finish off the round. So let's see how this goes. So you're holding the rafters player. If he rotates up, that's fine. Right? And then you see, you should just have a quick look when you see something in the kill cam. Boom. Okay, Slayer's dead. That's the alibi dead. Bottom rafters is dead. Last player is probably red. Right? So what you can do is if this sledge is swinging on red, you can be there to swing with him. But really what you'd rather do is you'd rather just kind of like set up a little bit. Just take a second and, collapse on him together as a 3 or a 4 man. But yeah, you can easily swing with this man. He just got dropped. You swing a little bit late, and you're a bit wide on your angle there. Let's just take a quick look at this, right? So you swing a little bit late. The guy's not going to be rafters at that point. Let's be real. But that's just something that you need to pick up quick. Check out the kill cam. Okay, Alibi dead. Right, it's the bandit. That's alive. Okay, so here, as you start to take this angle, just remember the angles that you're clearing, right? So first of all, you're clearing, let me just get a brighter color so we can see this. So the first angle that you're clearing is you're going to be clearing this head glitch here. Then you're also going to be clearing this portion here, this tight right. So basically just tight left and tight right. So you're already having a look here as you come across. That's fine, right? But what you're doing now is before you actually get the chance to check this angle, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to clear the rotate angle. So just clear the rotate hole. And then as we go forward, let me just rub these out. So the next thing you need to be doing is rotate, and then you want to be doing the red banister. Right, so you want to be doing the rotate. You did do the rotate, but the crosshair placement wasn't really on it. So if he was going through that, you could flick him. But yeah, look, that's the end of the day. You're hitting the red rotate. If he's gonna be on this part of the stairs, remember that's the top of the stairs there. He's actually gonna be running. He's gonna be taller, right? So his head's not gonna actually be there. It's gonna be it's not gonna be where you're aiming there. It's gonna be higher. But if he is where you're aiming now, is pretty good for if he's actually lower on the stairs across the banister as you go, right? But what you want to do is when you're taking angles one by one by one, you want to make sure you're as tight as possible to this. So you want to make sure that you're clearing these angles bit by bit by bit and taking them, basically taking the angle one by one instead of swinging wide like this, right? When you're checking the banister angle here, these angles, you're checking all these angles at the same time. You're so wide. If he's on any one of them, he has such an advantage there. Plus, the actual place that the bandit is the tight right corner. But if you were just taking that all a little bit tighter, right, so like a bit smoother, and your aim was coming across here, or just individual like kind of quick peeks to check these angles, because if the guy said tight right on the door, or the guy said close red door, you wouldn't need to worry about these banisters. You just want to keep your crosshair as close to this guy as possible, as close to this angle as possible. But because the guy just said red, you don't really know. He could be a bit deeper. So in the same respect though, regardless, you want to stay a lot tighter with your angles. And then, because you see what happens is when he swings here, and you actually also get the sound cue that he's close, just FYI. But as he swings, you're so wide that like, yeah, and the mechanics are a little bit shaky there, which is going to be, you can only imagine when you're just coming across first or however long you've been here. But just be aware of that. Keep your angles a lot tighter. Okay, round 2. Someone's got a repeller on the wall. Let's go. So this time we've got 4 hard breach. It's like you guys heard me through the cam. You thought Pac-Man said hard breach good. Hard breach is good. Maybe not 4 though. Now we've no soft breach. Oh god. So that C4 just got yeeted. Now, just so that people that don't maybe necessarily understand what's going on with this coordination here between the Therm and the Maverick, basically what the Thermite has done, my man Roids, is he has yeeted a cheeky flash through that hole, all right? And as he's gone through, you don't hear the sound of the ADS, right? Because you don't hear the sound of the ADS means there is no ADS. You hear the flash go off. So what that means then is the Maverick is then okay to go, all right, double yeet, but a bit higher, and bounce the nade off like the top of the roof there, and bounce it down so that it would clear both someone that's bandit tricking or someone that's, just general utility if it's been left there and dumped. The only thing it won't get is if you put a cage charge on red and then maybe one in lower rafters to get both the walls. Then you can't get it like that, like a nade. But at that point, what you have to do is you just need to get Maverick to just straight up trick the wall, right? So just do the Maverick trick, and then see that's the problem. You don't really have the soft breach to be able to do it. But if you had, like, instead of a Thermite here, if you were a Zofia, you could just open it up for him once he's actually tricked it. But let's just let's see how this one plays out.
Not good diffuser, by the way.
So you can hear him bandit tricking. That's unfortunate. The Maverick has missed that second grenade. Alright, so really what you want to do there is you want to throw it over, and then it blows, and then immediately you're just getting ready. You can even start placing it down. If it's just a mute jammer, you can start placing it down as he's throwing it through or cooking it. But if if there's a bandit tricker there, when that hole's open, like really the Maverick should be landing that grenade it should be a free kill, to be completely honest with you. But that's unfortunate. Now at this point, you guys are, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. Maybe you got to start looking at garage or construction, because this ain't it. Okay, the Maverick has just swung garage. No, he's been swung lower garage. This is unfortunate. You get ran out on from that same lower garage player. Again, second round in a row when you're playing Thermite, no droning. I know you were trying to do a job there, but that's just the realities of not having the information that you need. And unfortunately, the round is lost. Okay, so this is a better lineup now, right? We're starting to get there. Three hard breach, right? You got the Mav, you got the Therm, you got the Hib, and you got the knock. The knock is something, you don't love the knock. You want to see maybe the knock and even the knock and the sledge swap out to a cheeky Ash and Zofia. That's probably what you want in this sort of a current meta. But sledge is fun. Alright, so you're trying to take stock. Again, not an immense amount of droning happening. Again, you're taking these angles very, very wide, because if there is, like, you're doing the right thing because you're looking at it, right? But if there is someone on these angles, you're dead, right? You're taking these angles, leaning the wrong way and very wide, right? So when you're trying to clear secret first, you want to be leaning the other way, right up until you kind of close this door angle off, right? Right up until you do what you're doing right now, but you close it in real tight at that point so that you can only get like a real small pixel peek on it. Because that's all you need. And then once you see the information, so once you see that someone's passing your pixel, then you can kind of wide swing and get the peekers advantage on your working in your favor and actually take that gunfight, which is kind of what you're doing. But with that angle, like, let's just even quickly look at that, like this angle here, right? Even this angle, like, you want it to be much tighter, right? When you're holding a position with your gun and not with the drone, you just want the pixel. You want it to be like, you only need like a sliver of information, not all of this, not all of this portion here that's yellow. You don't want that. You don't want it to be that wide. Missed the rubber. I don't know. This knock is doing a little bit of work. She's kind of just sending it away. I wonder where she's going. Again, holding that angle, just holding it too wide. Just keep it tighter. Just tighter angle. Keep the pixel. It's a huge thing, especially as you start to progress. It's going to become more and more and more important. 4v2 at this point, what I would like to see you doing is if your knock's playing main, this guy's playing on kitchen hatch, and then I think one's dirt. Basically, what you can do is you can just get one guy to drop down the hatch with another guy still staying on the hatch. The knock playing down bottom main, and then you need to be playing on secret. You need to be playing in secret and applying pressure from blue. So that's a cheeky little four-man execute there at the end that you can do, especially when it's a 4v2. But let's see how you go. Because the main reason that you want to play on secret is so that they can't just, cross through from church to secret through blue. So you kind of want to stop that. So playing on secret stairs is a pretty powerful position. Plus, it also stops you from being flanked, which is always nice. The one thing I would say is if your mechanics are holding you back a little bit, being, your first however many months on PC, a really good way to just, just held quickly, just before I go any further, that Legion mine's just, when you're using Legion, just remember, I know you probably just threw this one out willy-nilly. When you're using Legion, remember, you want to be using Legion mainly for a point of information. So that Legion mine there is just a bit of nothing, hey, you probably want to put it on the actual door. You can put it on these staircases so that the player playing rafters knows if someone's approaching on these lower staircases. You could put it on secret door, not just in the middle of nowhere, because you don't really get anything from that. All right, but one way that you can really improve your mechanical kind of prowess fast, especially in your first month or so, or in your first first 6 months to a year on PC, is by using something like AimLab or Kovacs and mixing that in with Siege, specifically mixing that in with T-Hunt. You only need to do 15 minutes of it. So 15 minutes of actual just straight mouse aim training, and then 15 minutes of T-Hunt warm up and T-Hunt practice. So getting used to the Siege mechanics. It's a really good way to just kind of fast track that mechanical skill to get it up to scratch to really be able to compete with the higher echelons of PC. Okay, so you're peeking the breach. I don't love that. That guy's peeking rafters with no support, no flashbangs. You don't even have ADSs. So when you're playing on rafters, it doesn't hurt to have ADSs here. Usually when we play someone on rafters, we use 2. Just the rafters position is super important. So you just don't want to be dying there early. So yeah, you'd want 2 ADSs, but that person there is just peeking rafters with no information, no flashbangs and no support, so it's just not the play from whoever you just killed, but nice shot nevertheless. Now, I don't love this. You're just exposing yourself to the breach. It's completely unnecessary. Just remember, when you're playing rafters, you're gonna stick it. You don't want to be crossing, because once you cross, if they know you're there, which they now do, if this guy's sharp, he kills you right now. We'll see. But once they know you're there, they won't let you get out of there. Really, you'll be pinned down, and then you're the rafters player that's died. For the most part, it's very difficult to get out of a position once they know you're on this spot. And you can play it to death, but yeah, it's tough. But for the most part, you just don't want to be peeking the breach, because the rafters position, the top rafters position that you're holding at the moment is just so important. It's just a critical position in the success of the round, to be completely honest with you. So that's why we usually stack ADSs. We stack barb, lesion mines. We usually cade up the lower garage walls, because it's so powerful. It's such a powerful position, but you just don't want to be peeking the breach. You're just leaving yourself open to getting headshots. So you didn't get domed there. But yeah, you don't want to be playing this sort of a position like that. Like, yeah, it's just, I think you might have just smacked your keyboard. Rightfully so. Just take it as a lesson learned, man. Don't be peeking the breach. If you're gonna peek the breach, which, like, in the end of the day, we're all humans. Sometimes I peek the breach from rafters, but if you do, just like literally just throw your shoulder, throw a few shots out, a quick jiggle peek or whatever you got to do, but don't like hard peek it and hard hold angles on it, because you're just asking to get domed. And to be honest with you, you shouldn't really even be doing what I'm saying about jiggle peeking. I just like to do that because, I'm cracked. Okay, match point.
They have a Twitch.
I'm gonna try and get it.
So just FYI, that ADS and back armory, it doesn't really do a whole lot.
I got the hatch right now.
Yeah,
Run,
the ADS just ain't, usually people aren't getting naded in back armory for the most part. They're getting they're taking vertical control and flushing you out with guns and pressure like that. Not so much with grenades. That's just my take though, but I'd rather see more ADSs stacked around blue and maybe one for dirt and one for moto.
Blue hatch.
Basically, getting blue hatch. So you're gonna rotate on that super quest. It looks like you are. Interesting. So one thing that I always see people do, and I see it a lot, right, is people tend to, once they get a little bit of information, they go, okay, they're over there. All right, no worries. Even though we're only 40 seconds into this round, I'm going to run exactly to where they are right now. And people do that. And that's, usually when the enemy team has the most time to take their time, be a bit more thorough with their flank watches, with their droning. Whereas in the later moments of the round, when there's 45, 30 seconds left, the enemy team, for the most part, can't really afford to be holding angles as tightly like that. They have to be a little bit more, carefree, I guess. But nevertheless, it still works. It still works, but it's just something to keep in mind. Look at the time. Keep an eye on the time of the round. So you're holding secret now. You've hit it pretty fast, still 5-on-5. The Valkyrie gets a kill. I believe that Valkyrie was up top with you. So she got the therm around kitchen,
blue
probably.
Hatch is still open. They're coming from blue.
Okay, they're coming from blue. So blue hatch is open. So just really quick as well. Once you hear, well, this is just my perspective. Again, time will tell, and I often find myself wrong in these situations. But if I hear blue hatch is open, they're coming from blue. Realistically, I'm not going to be able to get to secret without dealing with the blue hatch player first. So for the most part, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be on the opposite side of this wall, over this side, right? So over this side, and aiming towards stock, and trying to catch that player, or maybe even just crouch walking up into stock. Something along those lines. I'm definitely not watching blue at this point. And maybe that's just intuition, but when I hear that they're playing on blue hatch, I'd be looking to go and, either fight that player on blue hatch, or I'd just be cautious of him, more so than the blue player, like the secret player. Because you'll have that information, the audio cue on the secret player. Because they think just to clarify on that, let's say if someone is on these secret stairs, if they're coming back this way and they have a teammate on the hatch, as soon as if they want to come back through this way for whatever reason, they're going to assume that it's all free because they got a player on hatch. So they'll just start sprinting around here, and then you can play that sound cue and yeah, take a frag there for the most part, right? Again, that's just could be completely wrong, but it's just my intuition. Okay, that's close. There you go. Talking absolute nonsense. No, but it did. I guess maybe in the end of the day, you did look that way. So yeah, that Twitch just decided to leave regardless. But well played. Nice little cheeky headshot there. Pushing down on this blue player, getting the last frag. GG. Yeah, look, for the most part, dude, I don't think there's you got too much to worry about. I would say if you want to speed up the mechanical, like I said, you want to speed up your mechanics and get them up to scratch faster, spend more time in T-Hunt and use things like aim lab. Split your warm-up time between aim lab and T-Hunt, and I promise you, within a month, you'll see a huge difference, right? So that, you know, you need to get the mechanics a little bit sharper. That's gonna be and that come with time anyway, but you need to be a little bit sharper there. On the angles, be cautious with the with how wide you're taking angles. So you want to be super tight and exposing as little of yourself as possible when you're taking angles, right? And you know, maybe you can start to learn the quick peek to try and face clear angles when needs be. But for the most part, you just want to be tight to the angle so that at any point, if someone is to swing wide, you're right on them anyway, and you can just make a quick adjustment over to the left or to the right, depending on which way they swing, and you know, your crosshair is going to be pretty close to the head. The noggin should be anyway if you're practicing good crosshair placement. But yeah, just make sure you're not taking angles too wide, and then make sure when you're holding angles, make sure you're holding them nice and tight as well, right? Like nice pixel angles, like I showed you on that secret. You don't need all the information in the world. You don't need to be able to see their whole body. You just need to be able to see a tiny amount of them, and then you can, you know, kind of swing out and pre-fire them as they stand, and they just shouldn't have seen you. They're less likely to have seen you. And as people get better and as you get into the higher ranks, if you're standing really wide on angles, people just rip you off them, man, like very fast. Like Siege is obviously a one-shot kill to the head, and with ping as advantage. Yeah, it's just ping as advantage, peak as advantage. It's just one of those things, man. You want to make sure that you're not leaving yourself exposed to that as much as possible. But for the most part, man, just keep the grind up. See, PC is hard. You look like someone that should be playing around silver, maybe low gold, or something around those lines. You look fine at the moment, so just keep grinding, and you'll get there. Just remember, be patient. PC is a different ball game in the end of the day. The caliber of player over here is stronger, so it's going to take a little bit of time to adjust. But just keep up the work, put in the work in your mechanics, and, you know, with time, all will pay off. Be careful with swing and breach. When you're playing rafters, don't swing the breach, man, I promise you. But I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you, as always, for the Pittsburgh Knights for allowing me to, you know, be present on their channel and share some good content with you guys. I really hope you are enjoying it. If you are, be sure to follow or subscribe to the Pittsburgh Knights. They do some awesome content, and, you know, they really work hard. It's a great team. So, yeah, without rambling on for too long, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.